it must have been a very whirlwind weekend for you, but let's talk about technology's increasing role in sport here. How were you able to help with F1's evolution?
So F1, as you've noticed, has become an increasingly data-driven race. And in fact, when you look at the driver interviews after even the very first day of practice at any event, such as this past weekend in Singapore, you'll notice they actually use the word data more often than almost any other word in terms of analyzing the performance of the car, analyzing some of the environmental metrics, and as you know, something that played particularly a very dominant role at this weekend's Grand Prix, analyzing tire pressure and tire temperature to get the maximum grip in order to be able to vault ahead, as Sebastian Vettel and his Ferrari team did, to win.
Give us a sense of how cars are so in tune right now with data. 100 sensors in these Formula One cars. It used to be all about the engine. I guess predominantly that's still the case. But wow, what do these sensors give you? What kind of edge does it give you?
It gives it an enormous edge, and you're correct. There's actually now, depending on the team in the car, between 100 and 200 sensors on the car. They generate on the order of, hundreds of gigabytes of data per weekend. The race itself, including video, certainly generates terabytes and terabytes upon data every weekend, and it's used for a myriad of factors, one of which is certainly to monitor the engine itself, which is the key heart of a Formula One race car today. But also, as you've seen, we want to monitor the aerodynamics and the airflow. We want to monitor particularly fuel consumption and fuel usage, transmission health, and most importantly, it does come back to the tires and the grip. If you remember a couple of races ago, there was a scandal around the blowout of tires. And it was actually the video specifically of Sebastian Vettel's rear tire that was analyzed by Pirelli to make a specific recommendation on the pounds per square inch, or the PSI tire pressure, that every manufacturer has to go on now. And many of the Formula One pundits, in fact, indicated that that had a direct impact on Mercedes' competitiveness in this race and why they couldn't place ahead and finish first, as they have done for almost the past 2 years.
Interesting. Well, let's use the F1 and technology as a metaphor for the wider world. All of this data, right? I mean, it's just coming at you incessantly. How is a driver, how is a team supposed to handle it? And in the real world, how are we supposed to get value from this really bombardment of data?
I mean, that's the key word. Again, from a Formula One perspective, the value is absolutely having the race engineer, which is something you see on the broadcast, the driver and the race engineer continuously communicating over the radio. The race engineer is able to use a lot of analytics, a lot of software and hardware tools to analyze all the real-time sensor data, conduct a trend analysis against historical trends as well as future projections, and fundamentally simplify the driver's life. The driver has a lot to concentrate on. If you've ever seen a Formula One wheel, there's more buttons than I can imagine on that wheel, and every one of them is critically important. So it's about minimizing the distraction and maximizing the actual information for the driver as to where they are with regards to position on the race, how close some of the people trailing behind them are, and are they trying to overtake, when should they conduct pit stops to maximize their race and tire strategy, and so forth. That's the driver benefit in a Formula One context. In a greater sense, I think the digitization of our lives is really what smart nations are all about. And fundamentally, it's going to improve the quality of service, and it's going to improve the convenience of a lot of day-to-day things we do in our lives, such as figuring out how to get to work every morning. Is it quicker to commute? Is it quicker to take the car? Making those decisions in real time. Improving really the convenience of our lives is one of the primary benefits of all this data that we're surrounded by now.
All right, you're supporting Singapore's Smart Nation program, and how are you going about that for organizations, everyone from user end to the back end?
The user end is the most visible part. It's the most fun part. So particularly if we're discussing the aging population right now, there's a lot more convenience that can be done with regards to delivering remote health care or telehealth, making it more convenient for a more elderly patient to conduct very routine or monitoring checkups and be able to renew prescriptions and so forth, preventing the need for people to go out of their homes for very mundane tasks. If you've ever queued up or lined up for any kind of government service, whether it's just to change your address on a driver's license form or, submit basic information for taxes, all those things now, for people that have access to mobile phones or laptops, all those services can be delivered digitally. So there's a huge advantage in terms of improving the convenience of our lives, the quality, and probably one of the most important government factors is improving the security of their citizens. All this video surveillance data used to simply be dumped to tape, as you probably know yourself in the past. Today, every single frame is digital. Every single frame can be analyzed for any kind of suspicious or other activities requiring attention by first responders, by police, or by other government agents.